Okay. So we did cover VNet pairing, VPN, site to site, point to site, right? I hope this is clear to you. It is clear to everyone. Any doubts in any questions in that, please do ask. Right? What we are yet to cover is NSG, which is Network Security Group. Right? But we are going to do that later. Before that, let me explain it to you. What is hub and spoke model, right? How it works. And to use the hub and spoke, we'll have to use UDR, which is user defined routes. Then we'll discuss about what is user defined routes. Here it is and how it works. Then to understand user defined routes, we'll have to understand what are route tables. So these are the three topics which are interlinked with each other. So I'll start with hub and spoke. To understand hub and spoke, there will a term will come there which is UDR. So we'll go and understand UDR, and under UDR there is a routing table. So we'll have to understand routing table. So whole this practical might finish in this session, maybe today and tomorrow, or we may have to extend it to next one. Right. So what we have been saying here, guys, now whenever you do a VNet pairing, two machines are talking to each other without any issue, right? Without any issue they can talk to each other. But one more thing we discussed, let me open paint for you, it will be easier. One more thing we discussed, guys, that if you have three vnets and if you connect them with each other, like let's say this is your vnet A, right? This is your vnet B, and this is your vnet C, right? So if you have connected two of the vnets using virtual network peering, let's say this is vnet A, or I'll name it something sensible, spoke VNet. Just because I name something, it doesn't change anything, okay? But for your understanding, I'm giving these names so we can relate it later. Now, when we do the practical, we'll be able to relate it. Spoke to, and let's say this is hub virtual network. Just because I name something, that doesn't become a hub. Like Bastion subnet, or like which subnet did we use, guys? Can anyone name the subnet which we use in VPN gateway? What is the subnet's name which we use in VPN gateway?
Gateway subnet.
Yes. So, like in subnets, just by naming something gateway subnet, it starts acting like a gateway subnet, right? The moment you name it as gateway subnet or you select gateway subnet, it starts acting like gateway subnet. What do you mean by acting like a gateway subnet? It won't allow you to create any virtual machine, any storage, or anything on that subnet, but it will only allow you to have one virtual private network gateway, VPN gateway on that subnet. That is how it is behaving, just because I name it. Right? वो नाम में ही इतना configuration है. However, when it comes to virtual network, just because I name some virtual network as hub virtual network, or I name some virtual network as spoke virtual network or spoke to virtual network, it is not going to work that way. Right? यहाँ पर नाम से कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है. This is just for our understanding. Is that point clear to everyone? इफ यू आर एक्सपेक्टिंग कि मैंने बस यहाँ पर हब लिख दिया तो ये हब नेटवर्क की तरह एक्ट करेगा, नो, दैट इज नॉट हैपनिंग. What is a hub network? What it does, I'll explain it to you. But is this point clear to everyone, guys? Just because you name it as a spoke VNet or spoke VNet 1 or 2 or hub VNet, they are not going to act like spoke or hub. Is this clear to everyone? Yes, guys. Yes, no, maybe any doubts, any
Yes,
questions?
yes,
Yes.
yes, Faizan.
Right? But when it comes to subnet, so Bastion subnet, what is Bastion? We are going to do that. Gateway subnet, they actually start working. They get their functionality just by naming them, right? But that is not the case on VNet. Now, if I have done the VNet pairing, guys, if I've completed the VNet pairing from VNet spoke VNet to spoke VNet 2, the machines here, will they talk to each other? Provided firewall, etc., has been taken care, everything has been taken care. Can these machines ping to each other? Yes, guys. Yes, no, maybe. What is the confusion? I've done the VNet pairing here. Can these two
Yes,
machines
they
talk
can.
to
By
each other?
default,
Yes.
by default, it's not.
No, I'm saying
Sorry.
I've done the virtual network peering.
Okay. Yes, we can connect this.
Yes, we can connect, right?
Yeah.
This is clear. Now, this is very plain, right? Very basic and plain. Now, let's say I've done the VNet pairing of spoke VNet and hub VNet. VNet pairing I have done with spoke VNet and hub VNet. And I've also done the VNet pairing of hub VNet and spoke VNet too. This is the VNet pairing I have done. So can this virtual machine, talk to a virtual machine here,
Yes.
Yes.
Obviously.
right? Can hub virtual network connect to a virtual machine which is here on spoke 2,
Yes.
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 right? So let's say that this is VM1, this is hub VM, and this is VM2. So here the question is, can VM1 speak to hub VM? You said yes. Can hub VM speak to VM2? You said yes. Now the question is, can VM1 speak to VM2? Looking at this
No.
one. And why not? What is the reason behind it?
No, because VMs are not transitive or something in
Yes, guys,
nature.
anyone with the correct wordings? Why am I not able to communicate directly with VM1 and VM2? Why not? I
Because
do have
virtual
VNet
network,
pairing. Sorry, someone was saying.
VNet pairing is not non-transitive in nature. So
Perfect,
if
simple,
A
guys.
is connected to B,
Yeah, that's all. I mean, in your interviewer will understand this. The moment you say virtual network peering, it's not transitive or the VNets are not transitive in nature, it clearly means that this transaction is not being transferred. But you have to say this word. Guys, I have been telling you from session one, from day one, do not leave the jargons, right? If you don't say that in your interview, how will he understand that you have the understanding, right? So please make sure you use the jargons, guys. Okay. So now, if I have the business requirement of these two machines talking to each other, then what can I do? This is one feature I have, or one method I would say, right? I can do the VNet pairing between these two as well. But how many will I do? Now I see only two VNets. Imagine I have n number of VNets here, right? There are n number of VNets I have here. Let's say I have a one VNet here. I have one VNet here. I have one VNet here. Okay? I have one VNet here. One VNet here. One VNet here. One VNet here. One virtual network here. And now I want all of them to talk to each other. Do you realize what kind of network will I create? It will be very difficult, right? So what is the best thing is I connect all of them to hub. I'll connect all of them to hub, not to each other. If I start connecting them to each other, ये बहुत ही बड़ा mesh network बन जाएगा, right? I'll have to connect this one with this, with this, with this, with this. एक एक VNet पे 10-15 connections बनाने पड़ेंगे हम लोगों को, right? On every VNet. That is time consuming. That is not even sensible. So what are we doing? We are connecting all the virtual networks to one virtual network. Right? जिस भी वर्चुअल नेटवर्क से आप कनेक्ट कर लोगे इसको, that will be called your hub virtual network. Is this clear, guys? Till now, what is hub virtual network?
Uh, Sohel bhai, actually, the hub VNet is nothing but acting like a VNet only, right? So
Yes, it is
it's
a VNet.
yeah. So we have to decide. We can create a hub to anyone from this so
Yes,
many
you
VNets.
anyone.
Okay.
Is this clear, guys, to everyone?
तो ये सेंट्रलाइज्ड मशीन होगी क्या, मतलब जिससे
No, no,
हर
it is
हर
not
एक.
a machine. It is not a machine. Virtual networks we are talking about, Hanifai.
हाँ, तो सेंट्रलाइज होगा ना वो, जिससे हर एक मतलब कनेक्ट हो सकते हैं उसमें, वीपीएन.
There is no centralized. See, I didn't even talk about VPN yet. Don't get confused, guys. Don't get confused. Don't use वर्ड सैलेड सब कुछ यहाँ वहां मत मिला दो, ठीक है? लेट्स कीप इट वेरी सिंपल एज ऑफ नाउ. What I did not talk about virtual machine yet. I did not talk about VPN yet. अभी तक हम उस पर नहीं जा रहे. Just understand the virtual network और virtual network peering. वहीं तक रहते हैं, step by step चलते हैं, ठीक है? So once you have all these networks and your requirement कि ये सब एक दूसरे से बात करना चाहिए, all these should communicate to each other. So one method you have is कि आप इसको इससे कनेक्ट कर लो, इसको इससे कनेक्ट कर लो, इसको इससे कनेक्ट कर लो, इसको इससे कनेक्ट करो, देन कनेक्ट दिस, connect this. Similarly to this, connect here, connect here. This is possible. I'm not saying it is impossible. But look at the network. What kind of network it is becoming, right? If you want this to have all the connectivity, a mesh network topology you will have. No one likes that. You will not be able to figure out कि कहाँ पर क्या खराब हो रहा है, कहाँ पर क्या फंस रहा है, कहाँ पर क्या ब्लॉक हो रहा है. So the good method is hub and spoke. So what are you doing? You're connecting all these network to one network. Initially there is no hub, there are no spokes, right? आपने जिन भी networks को connect कर लिया किसी एक network से, that becomes your hub virtual network. This becomes your hub virtual network. And by automatically all other virtual networks, they become spoke virtual network. Is this clear till here?
Yes.
At the
Yes.
time of deployment of virtual network, you don't have to worry, you don't have to decide that this is going to be my hub, तो इसमें 2 click extra करने हैं, ये check करना है, nothing. You don't have to do anything about it, right? You create 5 or 6 virtual networks. You pick any one. Okay, blindly I'm picking this one, and I will connect all of the virtual networks to this. So then this becomes your hub virtual network, and by default, all virtual network will become your spoke virtual network. Is this clear, guys? Till here?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, because we said these are not transitive in nature, the connections are not transitive in nature, right? Then how is it helping us? अगर वो ट्रांजिटिव होता नेचर में तो ये मैं हब वगैरह कर ही क्यों रहा हूँ? आई विल जस्ट कनेक्ट इट और वो अपने आप कनेक्ट हो जाएंगे सारे. जस्ट बिकॉज आई नेम इट एज हब, विल इट बिकम ट्रांजिटिव इन नेचर? नो.
No.
Right? We have more efforts and more steps to do it. But this is the first step, that you have to create one hub virtual network and another spokes virtual network. इसका business case real time environment में कब use होता है, कैसे होता है, I will explain that. First understand the theory part, right? Then the technical part, and then I'll show it to you, or I will explain it to you कि actual world में कहाँ पर use होगा ये. What kind of ticket will you get, right? When will your client ask, or when will your architect team say that use hub and spoke? Right, we'll do that later. So don't worry, don't think यार ये क्यों हो रहा है, कहाँ पर यूज होगा. We'll cover that. First understand the core technical basics of technical. इंटरव्यू में यही पूछा जाता है पहले, ठीक है? So is this clear, guys, still here? Just by naming, it is not functioning that way, right? You don't have to decide at the time of creation. You create 5 6 virtual networks, decide any virtual network as a uh, hub virtual network, and rest of them will become spoke automatically. This is the technical part I'm saying, guys, right? Business में ऐसा नहीं होता. When you are discussing the business part with client, obviously you will not go ahead and create. ये नहीं करोगे आपके चलो बाद में सोचते हैं यार किसको hub बनाना है. Why? Because there are naming conventions, there are government policies, appliances, etc. There are many things. So when you get a ticket or a low level diagram from your architect team, you will already know that you have to deploy 50 virtual networks. Out of them, these will be the name of those 50 virtual networks, or this is the naming convention. For example, UT-Kloud VNet 001. Now create 50 of them. Now create one more 50th one and name is at UT-Kloud Hub Virtual Network. So you guys will know this already, right? You guys will know this already. But that is not a technical requirement. That is a business requirement. That is a requirement so you can have your environment very clean and in a better organized manner. Are you guys getting the difference between this? Yes,
Yes.
guys.
Yes.
Yes, no. Ashfaq,
Yes. Yes.
Hanif Kazi, Prabhat, Razak Bhai, Shahrukh, are you
Yes.
guys getting this?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Sunil, Tehsin, Sonali, Sharmili, any confusion, guys? Very important topic. Mostly interview में पूछते हैं, right? Your networking topic will be clear if you are able to answer this, and even if they don't ask this, if they ask you, can you tell me one of the difficult deployment you have done in recently? You can explain this, and this will give you definitely a good impression, right? So understand that that is not a technical dependency. टेक्निकल डिपेंडेंसी नहीं है, नाम उसको सेलेक्ट करना पहले। लाइक gateway subnet, that is a technical dependency. Unless you have a gateway subnet with that specific name, you cannot go ahead with VPN, site to site VPN, पॉसिबल ही नहीं है, राइट? यहाँ पर इस हब के जगह आप इसको अपना नाम भी दे दोगे ना, इट विल स्टिल वर्क। द नेम हैज नथिंग टू डू विद दिस, दिस इज बिजनेस रिक्वायरमेंट, ठीक है? बस मैनेजमेंट और प्रॉपर वे में ऑर्गेनाइज होने के लिए इस तरह से कर रहा है। सो यू कैन डिप्लॉय एन नंबर ऑफ वर्चुअल नेटवर्क्स, देन सेलेक्ट कि ठीक है ये मेरा हब होगा। ओके, सो टिल हियर दिस इज क्लियर, आई होप, राइट? नाउ व्हाट
Yes.
नीड्स टू बी डन, व्हाट नीड्स टू बी डन हियर, कि जिससे ये ट्रैफिक ट्रांजिटिव हो जाए, राइट? सो आई विल शो इट टू यू ऑन द पोर्टल। First, I'll just explain it to you here. So what happens, guys? At the time of virtual network peering, you must have seen one option which says allowed forwarded traffic. Right? I'll show it to you. Wait, let me show it to you. Now look at this. I have just named it. It doesn't mean कि hub बन गया है. Till now, I have not done any configuration. If I want, I can come here and I can make this as a hub. नाम इसका hub रख दूंगा और इसको hub बना सकता हूँ. It is not changing anything. Okay? So at the time of peering, but at the time of peering, now let's say this is hub. What did we decide? What are we going to connect? We are going to connect the hub virtual network with all other network, right? In this case, I have taken only two. I've already created the connection. I'll just show it to you again. I go to peering. Okay. Now let's say I am going here. Peering link of remote virtual network. Where am I on which virtual network I am on, guys? On which virtual network?
Hub
VNet.
Hub VNet. So which will be my remote virtual network?
spoke to.
Yes, either spoke or spoke to, right? So as of
Spoke
now, I'm
or spoken.
configuring
Yeah.
the spoke virtual network. So I'm saying spoke, and again here this has nothing to do with virtual network's name. Why? Because you're going to select a virtual network here. Just because you write here, let's say you write spoke VNet and hub, इससे ये दोनों में कनेक्शन नहीं बनता है, right? मैं यहाँ पर spoke VNet लिख कर यहाँ पर spoke to लिख सेलेक्ट कर लूँ, so what will be the connection, guys? Will it be with spoke or spoke to? कौन से VNet के साथ कनेक्शन बनेगा? Because नाम में तो मैंने spoke लिखा है,
Spoke
but I'm
to.
selecting spoke to.
Oh.
So I hope you understand that, right? This name has nothing to do with it. I can write whatever I want. I can write B and A. I can write A and B. Right? But it should have a meaningful name, because later on in actual environment you'll see 500 or 600 peering. वहां पर अगर नाम नहीं होगा ना, कुछ देख नहीं पाओगे आप. So what am I saying here? Which one I'm configuring? I'm configuring the remote network. Local को नहीं कर रहा हूँ अभी मैं, ठीक है? Remote वाले को configure कर रहा हूँ. So what will I say here? That this is spoke VNet to hub VNet, right? Then I'll select the virtual network, spoke VNet. Now what does it say? I'm getting this error. Why? Because I have already done the VNet pairing. इसलिए यहाँ पर error मिल रहा है. But what did I do here, guys? I am on hub network. From hub network, I am configuring the remote virtual network जिससे हम उसको connectivity चाहिए. I named it as spoke virtual network to hub connectivity. I selected the uh, I selected the subscription कि कहाँ पर है. Which one will I select here? Spoke virtual network. Why? Because we are doing spoke virtual network. ठीक है? Now, this option says allow virtual network to access hub virtual network. If I don't allow this, obviously traffic will not be flown from here to there. कहाँ से? Spoke virtual network से hub virtual network पर. ठीक है? This is why I am checking this box. Now I am configuring my local virtual network. Which is my local virtual network? कहाँ पर हूँ मैं? Which is the local virtual network, guys? Where?
VNet.
Hub VNet. So I'll name it something like this. Hub VNet to spoke VNet. Right? Now, what does it say? Local virtual network pairing. Allow hub VNet to access spoke VNet. You want traffic to be routed from this VNet to that VNet? Yes. If you want only one way, you can uncheck one of these. You can do that. That I want कि यहाँ का traffic सब वहां पर जाए, but that traffic should not come here. In what cases will you say this? Let's say your company, for example, UT-Kloud, it's acquiring T-Soft Info Solution, right? It is taking care, it is merging it. So now I have my IT guys with UT-Kloud. I have my managers, my board members, etc. Everyone at UT-Kloud. Now we are acquiring a company named T-Soft. So I don't want any manager from T-Soft or any IT guy from T-Soft. They should access our network. Why should they? They're a small chunk for us, right? UT-Kloud is taking care of taking over on T-Soft. So we should have access to their resources because I want to check some papers. I want to check some resources. I want to check their IT infrastructure. I want to check their legal papers, projects, etc. Business agreement, scope of work, whatever, for whatever reason I want to have access, my management want to have access to their resources. So these guys can take everything, check everything, right? But on the same at the same time, they do not want Tsoft employees or their managers to check our company's data. So you get this request also, and you can do that also. If you allow only one virtual network, traffic will be allowed only one way, not two ways. Okay, but in this case we want both of them to speak to each other, right? But ये तो क्या हुआ आपका basic VNet pairing का configuration हुआ, right? That this wants to speak to this wants to speak to this. This is basic thing. Now let's come here, and what does it say? The next option: allow hub virtual network to receive forwarded traffic from VNet 1. Now what is a forwarded traffic? Spoke 1 से forwarded traffic क्या होगा hub पे? The traffic which is being generated at spoke 2 and which is going to hub, will that be a forwarded traffic, guys? This one जो यहां से यहां पर आ रहा है, is it a forwarded traffic?
No.
No, right? What is a forwarded traffic? अगर ये traffic यहां से यहां जाता है तो I want to make a communication like this, but I want what I want this. I want hub and spoke wala model because I don't want the direct connectivity, right? So I am forwarding the traffic. Let's say this is spoke 1 and this is spoke 2. So spoke 1, it's trying to communicate to spoke 2 from hub virtual network. So spoke 2 के लिए traffic किस तरह का हुआ? Spoke 1 से आया हुआ traffic, it is a
Forwarded.
forwarded traffic, right? So in this case, you will allow the forwarded traffic. Then only you will be able to perform your practical. So in this case, what you will do, and we'll have to do it on all the this one here also and here also. Why? Because we might forward some traffic from this VNet as well. As of now, we are just doing from hub, but for the safer side, we will go ahead and check these boxes. So what will it do? It will allow the forwarded traffic, right? It will receive the forwarded traffic. So what I want here, that my spoke to VNet should receive in this one, which is the spoke to, by the way, guys. इसमें से कौन सा वाला spoke to का configuration है? Let's say I am saying safer side वगैरह छोड़ो, जितना requirement है बस उतना ही चाहिए. So where should I check this? कि allow to receive forwarded traffic. Where should I check?
In remote
The
virtual
second one,
network.
Which one
local
of you
virtual
said?
network, I think.
So someone says local, someone says remote. Which is the remote virtual network? Name the virtual network. Which is the remote virtual network in this case?
Spoke.
Spoke.
Spoke VNet. So
VNet.
right. What is my requirement here? किसको traffic receive करनी है? Forwarded traffic?
Spoke to.
Spoke to. Yes. So by any chance hub is getting forwarded traffic? नहीं. Hub पे तो सबके लिए directly traffic आ रहा है. Right? Hub पे तो ये directly connectivity. Hub is getting direct traffic. Then who's getting forwarded traffic? In this case, spoke 2 will
Spoke.
get forwarded traffic. कहाँ से? हमारे केस में spoke 1 से. In this
Spoke
case,
1
in
से.
all. तो कहाँ पर allow करना पड़ेगा मुझको? On spoke 2.
On spoke
That
to.
forwarded traffic. hub की जो generated traffic है उसके लिए do I have to do anything extra? No. Why? Because they are directly in VNet pairing और direct traffic मैंने allow कर रखी है already, right? If I go ahead here and check, I have allowed direct traffic. But what I want that allow the spoke VNet to receive the forwarded traffic from hub VNet. कि hub VNet से कोई forwarded traffic आएगा, तो that should be allowed, right? So I'll have to allow on all of these. यहाँ पर सब जगह करना पड़ेगा मुझको, because I want them to communicate with each other. But I told you, normally you will see they will allow here also and they will allow on hub network also. Right? This is what you will have to do it and simply click on add. ये कुछ नहीं, आपका plain VNet pairing है, बस आपने ये दो checks extra कर दिए. I hope people who have done VNet pairing properly, they will recall everything now. Once you do that, one more pairing I'll have to do. Which pairing? Again, hub से spoke to. So like in this example, if I take, what will I have to do, or what did I do here? Spoke से hub connect कर लिया and spoke to से hub connect कर लिया. But while connecting, what did I do? Forwarded traffic receive, इसको भी yes कर दिया. Forwarded traffic receive, इसको भी yes कर दिया. Forwarded traffic receive. I've done yes here also by just for the safer side, but we don't have to do it because this one is not getting any forwarded traffic. हब में अभी फिलहाल कोई forwarded traffic नहीं आ रहा है. ठीक है? Got it, guys? Still here?
Yes.
Now, just because you have done the forwarded traffic enable, it will not allow you to send the message from here to here directly. Why? Because when you are on this machine, spoke 1 के किसी machine पे हो, and you are pinging to your spoke 2 VNet or to machine on the spoke 2 VNet. This machine doesn't know the route कि कहाँ से जाना है. It doesn't know कि traffic यहाँ से होकर जानी है तभी allow होगा. What this machine will do, it will try to ping directly. And is there any connectivity directly between these two?
No.
No.
So will it be able to ping?
No.
No.
So to do that, what we use, it's UDR, user defined routes. Now, there are two types of routes in Azure or in networking. One is system defined routes, which is already there. You don't have to create anything. अब यहाँ से यहाँ भी जाना है, ये कैसे पता उसको? This is system defined route, right? So system defined routes are always there. Like why are you able to access the internet? NSG में आपने अलाउ कर रखा है, ठीक है, but how it knows के local machine से कैसे जाना है, Google तक कैसे जाना है, because system defined routes are already there. But in this case, what you will have to do, you will have to create your user defined routes, which is also known as UDR. So what user defined route will do, that route will guide all of the resources here, right? All of the resources here, that whenever you want to speak to any of the resources here, you should take this route. Then only you will be able to communicate. That is your user defined route. Is this clear, guys, to everyone?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, guys. Any doubts, any questions till now?
Yeah, so the user-defined routes are going to define by us only, right? We are going to
Yes.
do some settings in the Azure portal, right?
Yes. We will have to. It is a PaaS service. User defined route, it is a service. We will go ahead and deploy the user defined route. I have already done that here, though I'll show it to you again. But
Sure.
just for this here, route, you can go to route tables or you can type UDR and you will get you look at this. These are the, if I go here,
And one more thing, Sohail, actually, I was referring the MS docs for AZ104 since like since many days. And this is the first time that I heard about the system defined routes and the UDR. I haven't those terms before in the MS docs. Like I haven't read this before, actually.
no, that's completely fine. I mean, there are plenty of things which even I get to see for the first time after so many years of experience as well. So that's completely fine.
Right.
But this is
Okay.
very crucial topic. I mean, you cannot skip that. You cannot skip that. So you'll have to, we'll have to learn. If I explain it to here, in this part, I'll explain it in a bit. But is this part clear to everyone? Is this part clear to everyone, guys? How this is going to work? I'm not going to do anything technically as of now. As of now, just let me know if the theory part is clear to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Is
Prabhat,
this is
Sunil.
there only two option, Sohail bhai, to create this kind of connectivity. One is UDR and one is the
System
system
defined.
No,
defined.
these are not
These
two
are the
methods.
two.
No, these are two components of one method. The method is hub and spoke. And no, this is not the only method. We have vwan as well, but we are not going to cover that. Vwan, that is also important
Okay.
topic, but very huge, and you won't understand it properly unless you do it actually. So you can deny it when you say, you can deny it that, okay, so I have not worked on vwan. It's a very time consuming, in-depth topic. You should have on-prem understanding, on-prem network understanding, express route understanding. So we are going to skip. But no, this is not the only way. We have hub and spoke and we have vwan. We are going to learn hub and spoke now. Under hub and spoke, we are learning the VNet peering and UDR and then route tables. All this will come, and there are more things. Those are components और जोड़ेंगे उसमें. But whole method is called hub and spoke. Is this clear, guys?
Yeah, correct. Yes.
Right. So now I was talking about route tables. So what do you think route tables कहाँ लगाने की जरूरत है हम लोगों को? If I want to speak from hub to spoke, do I have to do any route table?
Yes, I guess.
No. Any traffic which is being generated on hub, I don't require any route table. Why? Because they're directly in VNet peering. They're directly talking to each other. They, all of them will talk to each other directly. At least they will try to talk to each other directly. But some of them will work, some of them will not work. Why? Because some of them have VNet peering, some of them don't have VNet peering. So I'll explain it to you in next session. We have only 30 seconds left. Let me stop the session and we'll join without any break using the same link. Is it okay, guys? Or do you need a break?
It's
Yeah.
fine. So
Continue.
Okay. So let's continue without any break using the same link.
Mm.
I'm restarting the session.